I'm here with Duane Vorwald. He is the owner here at Old Man Brewing here in downtown McGregor, Iowa, in the sleepy little river town. I love it. And so you're leaning into that with that Old Man Brewing. I love these little nano breweries, these brew pubs. I love how they've just sprung up everywhere. I mean, how long have you been interested in beer? I'm guessing for a long time.
I was a vintner. I've been a vintner for a lot of years.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where I started in the beginning. My wife is a chef, and between the brewing and fermenting and the food, that's where we got into this.
That's awesome. So how long have you been owning the business then?
We're on 5 years.
5 years. Were you in the service industry before this, or?
No, my wife's been in food service for her whole life.
And then you guys decided, let's bite the bullet, let's jump right in.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I already jumped right in. I love clearly this is an IPA. I got it, popping me right in the mouth already. I love how it's garnished with that hop, so you know exactly, you're throwing that hop right on top. That's awesome. Tell me, what am I drinking here?
This is Rocky Bank's IPA. We just have a fresh batch in the cooler back there. We do garnish with a fresh hop. We grow 14 different varieties off our back patio, mostly to look after, and our garnishment is all we use them for. Yeah,
it's tough to locally produce hops enough to brew the amount of beer, because you guys are kicking out quite a amount of beer. For how big of a system are you working with?
It's just a smaller one, actually. It's an 8-barrel. It's enough to get us in trouble.
Enough to get in trouble. That's great. This is perfect. As far as an IPA, this is. It's got a lot of bite in the front, but it doesn't have that back end where it's attacking my throat. It's not just chewing and clawing its way back out. Nope. But it's a very refreshing IPA.
We've designed all our beers to be drinkable. I mean, they're not over the top in anything. They just have all the quality, and they're great, straightforward beers and quality.
This is, it's got a great color, it's got a great flavor, and plenty of hop flavor, but not too much. All right, I'm going to dive right in. I am hungry as well. What do we have here? What is this guy?
That's a salmon salad with vinaigrette dressing.
And this salad here, it's bright, it's colorful. It's exactly what you want from a salad with salmon involved. You want to be able to be fairly subdued. You don't want to have let that salmon, let the fish do the talking. And this is, it's bright, it's colorful, and beautiful pops of color, and beautiful pops of big fruit flavors as well. This is really excellent. What do we have here? This looks like a really healthy, big old portioned wrap here. What is this guy?
Club wrap. We do a club sandwich and a club wrap. It's fresh. It's a little more delightful in the summertime. Hot. You want something for a hot meal. We always got something that's a little bit on the cooler side for a sandwich. Our club sandwiches are a go-to. It's amazing how many we can punch out in a day. Once somebody in the restaurant sees that, it seems like everybody in the place, hey, that looks good, and pretty soon you're making a dozen or two of them. So it's something fresh and not quite so hot in a hot summer day.
Right. Tell you what, you've got this thing jam-packed full of meat. You guys are not skimping at all. This is just absolutely just jam-packed full of meat. And then tell me about your chips here and this dip here. What's going on here?
Vidalia onion dip. Our chips, that's a favorite. We sell bowls and bowls and bowls of it. We fresh fry our chips, and goes along the accent with our dip. Also, our fresh bread is also, they need the dip for dipping your bread.
Fresh bread as well.
It's dinner loaves that we bake here. So,
wow. I'm going to jump over here. You tell me about this fish again. No, you've got this is.
This is swai.
Swai. What kind of fish is that?
SWAI. It's in the catfish family, Asian catfish. It's light, fresh, has just a hint of the catfish flavor. If you live on the Mississippi River and the muddy Mississippi, the cat are a little muddy tasting like this. This does not have this. It just has the hint of the catfish flavor. It's our own sauce. We are on our own tartar sauce we have on the bed. All of our sauces we make in-house. All our salad dressings we make in-house.
Wow.
Yeah. Soups are all made in-house.
Going that extra mile, I always appreciated that. I always love when you're telling me about making your homemade sauces. I love hearing that because it shows that you care. You care about what's happening inside. When people are sitting down, you're not just opening a package and just throwing it in here.
Right.
You're taking that extra mile.
Not out of the can or out of the bag, and it's in today's cooking society or the hustle and bustle, I mean, it's hard to do it other than out of the can, dump it in, and it's all the same. Every place is the same. It's, my wife, Chef Diana, she is not about out of the can. She'll throw something together and just knock your socks off.
Oh, that's...
Any of our specialty meals that, other than on the menu, she always has to throw something else in there. So
just make it a little bit special, a little bit different. Tell me about this guy. What do we have here?
This is Mississippi Mandarin. It's citrus wheat, light wheat beer, citrus flavor, garnished with an orange.
Yeah, not overly carbonated, huh? Is it pretty?
Nope. It's the citrus holds that down a little bit. It's a go-to fresh beer.
This is refreshing. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about sitting out on the porch, sitting on your back deck, enjoying the breeze, and having this. It's very refreshing.
What's in the glass there next to it is it's a 9-month barrel aged.
Oh, this guy here?
This one there, yep. It's,
oh, wow.
We use barrels leased from Mississippi Distilling in LeClaire, Iowa, and they do a good job on their bourbon, and we pull a little bit of that extra flavor out.
This has such a bourbony flavor to it. I mean, I feel like I'm almost drinking like a watered down bourbon, almost like that's how much I feel like it's really hitting those notes.
It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. It's also, it's fermented or brewed with honey, and it's second fermented with honey.
It's bordering on like a mead, almost kind of between that honey flavor.
It's a sipping beer.
Oh yeah, what's the ABV on this guy?
It's 8.9.
That's why you're giving me a shorty glass, and for good reason. Yeah, this fish sandwich, it is wonderful. You're right, it doesn't have that big, strong catfish flavor, that little muddy bottom that you can get sometimes. But really great. I love that light breading, and I love these house fries as well. All right, you were telling me about your meat before, talking about how it's all locally sourced. That's something else I really appreciate. When you're focusing on local flavors, local products, that's something I really love.
Majority of it's Upper Iowa beef.
Upper Iowa beef.
Comes from Mississippi River. Meats across the river. Either prime rib or ribeye. That's all we do in our tenderloins. That's all. We cut our own fresh tenderloins right out of the loin itself. They're not frozen and shrink wrapped tenderloins. They're cut out of the whole loin itself. So they're, if you want a different experience if you've never had that. We have the sweet potatoes. They're pretty sought after. They're a great taste. They're not overpowering sweets. They're very good on the potato family.
Old Man River, you're on the river. Tell me a little bit about that river life that we have going on here in McGregor.
It's McGregor's a small little pocket town tucked in a little between the bluffs here in the Mississippi. It's got state parks on either side of us, and down here in the river bottom we're just off, well, less than a block off the water itself. We're in a building, a historical building, Diamond Joe Reynolds corporate headquarters, built in 1888.
Yeah, you've got a brewery, you've got this amazing dining space, and then a couple of Airbnbs upstairs.
Yep, upstairs is the best it gets. It's very high end. The same picture windows that you have right here in the front of the restaurant. Same thing upstairs.
Yeah, this is a perfect setting for a weekend to get away, enjoy this small, quaint, slow life here on the river, and come down here, have a couple of great beers and big, healthy portions of a meal. Duane, I really appreciate your time. You've got a lot of good stuff going on here, taking the care, making your sauces, making your soups, and making some really excellent beer.
Thank you.
And thanks for having us in.